I'm just showing you how the black horse is at work, how they are working. And we are still continuing. Now, this is the template to impoverish a nation. One,
destabilize the economy, but also between the brackets.
Yeah, between the brackets, because that's how they destabilize the economy.
By a sponsored coup d'etat, proxy wars, and puppets in power.
So they sponsor a coup d'etat just like they did with Lumumba and Kwame Nkrumah. They sponsor, and just like they did to the president of Haiti, I don't know what his name was, Laverne or something. They sponsor a coup d'etat. They fight proxy wars, giving the rebels weapons. They remove the president that has a nationalistic mindset, and they place a puppet who will give all the money and will open all the borders to the West. That is how they do it. They forbid
government funding and promote foreign aid and debt.
By doing so, they destroy
the middle class.
They impose
SAPs, or structural adjustment programs for financial aid.
They lend out
money with interest.
They have the foreign money
backed by the dollar currency.
Then they control
the price of goods and trade.
Suriname does not control the value of its own gold. The US and Europe, they do. The DRC does not control the value of the cobalt itself. The United States, Europe does. Zimbabwe does not control the value of its diamonds. The Europe and US does. Right? So lend out fiat money,
but take natural resources in exchange.
They privatize
whole sectors and put Westerners in power or proxy agents to sell to the West in black markets.
And by doing so, when you look at the picture, they are pumping money from Africans, and it is going to fat Europe. They are doing the same thing to South America as well. This is the template to impoverish a nation. This is what they do. If you look at every third world country, you will see these things. And that's why you have the question, why is there no peace in Africa? Why are there so many coups in Latin America? Look at Haiti. Oh, what a shithole. Look at Suriname. There's nothing going on there. Look at Jamaica. Nothing. This is what they do. That's how they keep you down. This is how they keep you down. Look at the picture. The skinny African is feeding the French guy. Look at the picture on the left. Every European nation scrambling for Africa. And then Leopold holding the golds whilst killing people. Look at the picture on the left below. Look at the poor guy from Sudan. But the IMF says, miss another payment and we will take even the blanket from you. This is the IMF. This is the black horse at work. But now we are continuing. Let's look at Haiti. I think 20 minutes I'll be done. So maybe you guys can notify it, because look at Haiti, right? Look at this guy, Trump. Trump literally said, why do we want all these people from? Why do we want all these people from? Beep! Whole countries here. We should bring in more people from places like Norway. So he was addressing Haiti, Africa. He said there are deep whole countries. This is Trump. But he knows why the country is in such a terrible state. And then we wrote down on the right, President Trump is under fire for referring to Haiti
and Salvador and African countries as S-hole countries.
This guy. So he said Africa is a banana republic. What they also say is Africa is a failed continent. African nations are failed states. Haiti is a failed state. Argentina is a failed state. Cuba is a failed state. Suriname is a failed state. Jamaica, failed state. But they don't tell you why. They don't tell you why. So let's look at why. Randy, maybe you can play the video. Let's look at Haiti. I also gave you the time, right?
Yes.
Nearly everyone in the country felt the terror of the Duvaliers and their Tonton Macoute, that is, government-sponsored thugs who beat or killed for dominance. Before Europeans arrived, pillaged and killed off the natives, Hispaniola was an island of splendid rainforests and fertile plains. Native Caribbeans inhabited and cultivated the island for centuries before Columbus arrived in 1492. The Spanish, and soon after, the French, saw a land of opportunity. Spain and France divided Hispaniola in 1697, where the western one-third of the island became Haiti, ruled by the French and the other side ruled by Spain, present-day Dominican Republic. The native population was decimated through warfare, slave labor, and European disease. Because the native population was largely killed, people were kidnapped by the hundreds of thousands from Africa and shipped to the island for slave labor. Some believe it was the world's taste for coffee that led to massive slave labor in Haiti. Haiti, once called the Jewel of the Antilles, was the richest colony in the world. In the 1750s, Haiti provided as much as 50% of the GNP of France. The French imported sugar, coffee, cocoa, tobacco, cotton, indigo, and other exotic goods. In France, products were refined, packaged, and sold all over Europe. Incredible fortunes were made from this tiny colony on the island of Hispaniola. How could Haiti have once been the source of such wealth and today be the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere? How could this land that was once so productive be semi-barren? How did the Jewel of the Antilles become a place where women and children sleep in fear? Following the assassination of the Haitian president in the month of July 1915, President Woodrow Wilson sent the United States Marines into Haiti to restore order and maintain political and economic stability in the Caribbean. This occupation continued until 1934. The United States government's interests in Haiti existed for decades prior to its occupation. As a potential naval base for the United States, Haiti's stability concerned U.S. diplomatic and defense officials who feared Haitian instability might result in foreign rule of Haiti. In 1868, President Andrew Johnson suggested the annexation of the island of Hispaniola, consisting of Haiti and the Dominican Republic, to secure a U.S. defensive and economic stake in the West Indies. From 1889 to 1891, Secretary of State James Blaney unsuccessfully sought a lease of Moly St. Nicolas, a city on Haiti's northern coast, strategically located for a naval base. In 1910, President William Howard Taft granted Haiti a large loan in hopes that Haiti could pay off its international debt, thus lessening foreign influence. The attempt failed due to the enormity of the debt and the internal instability of the country. France, as the former colonizer of Haiti, retained strong economic and diplomatic ties with the Haitian government. In the 1824 Franco-Haitian Agreement, France agreed to recognize Haitian independence if Haiti paid a large indemnity. This kept Haiti in a constant state of debt and placed France in a position of power over Haiti's trade and finances. Let us hear what the historian Professor Marlene L. Doubt has to say about France's extortion of Haiti. She calls it the greatest heist in history. After enduring decades of exploitation at the hands of the French, Haiti somehow ended up paying reparations to the tune of nearly $30 billion in today's money. This was in addition to the cruel slavery they had suffered. How does that sound? Much of the reparations debate, said the historian Professor Doubt, has revolved around whether the United States and the United Kingdom should finally compensate some of their citizens for the economic and social costs of slavery that still linger today. But to me, there's never been a more clear-cut case for reparations than that of Haiti. I'm a specialist on colonialism and slavery, Professor Doubt further affirms. And what France did to the Haitian people after the Haitian Revolution is a particularly notorious example of colonial theft. France instituted slavery.
Yes, so people, I really advise you to take your time and just watch documentaries about Haiti. And you will see how the template I just gave you, how they impoverish a nation, it's textbook to what they did to Haiti. That's why you will also realize, if you compare all the South American nations, Haiti still has the most purest concentration of Africans. If you compare it to all the other. Afterwards, you have Jamaica, but then all the other mix. But Haiti still have the purest concentrations of Africans. Because when they were brought to Haiti, a few years later, they revolted. And the guy's name was Toussaint. This guy, Toussaint, he literally killed all of their oppressors. The French. He slaughtered them all. And Haiti became the first independent nation that broke free of colonization in the whole world. Speaking of the black nations. But what then happened was the international community said, we will not accept your independence because you obtained it by violence.
The
Western world. Mm-hmm. Can you believe this? So not all the nations were like, no, you guys are not independent because you chased out your colonizers by force. We won't accept your independence. Can you believe this? So they were like, and then the French were like, because you chased us out, you have to pay us. Because we are now losing money on you, our slaves. People, are you seeing this? That's what they did. So then the French, they gave Haiti a debt. And they gave it in 1838. They gave them a debt. And it took Haiti 200-something years to pay the debt. So you take me from Africa, you bring me to Haiti, you kill off all the Indians, you place me there. I work for you for free. After years, I said, no, ça c'est pas bon. That's how they speak. They revolted, killed off the colonizers. The international world were like, no, you guys should have remained slaves. We won't accept your independence. The French were like, if you want my Western brothers to back off and accept you guys, we will only accept your independence on one condition. You have to pay us a debt. Haiti were like, as long as we are free, we'll pay your debt. So they agreed. And from that moment on, French collects debt money from Haiti. So people, and then Donald Trump says Haiti is a asshole country. But he knows the history. He knows it. All the Western world know it. Haiti is known as the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. But IMF, the West, France, Europe, United States, They know why Haiti is poor. So people, do you see how they work? And after that, Toussaint was in control. Later on, they began to fund rebels. That is why you're seeing in the news now, Haiti is in shambles. There are so many rebels. All of them have guns. But now begin to think, they don't have money. They don't have factories. How do the rebels, and the guy, what's his called? Jimmy Barbecue. How does Jimmy Barbecue, where does he get the guns from? Where does Barbecue guy get the guns from? This is what we call proxy wars. They give rebels weapons. They do it to every nation that has a lot of natural resources that is black. They give rebels money. They train them. They also tried with the Arabs, but it backfired. Because the curse of Elohim is not upon the Arabs like it is upon us, the Bantu Israelites. So they did the same with the Arabs. That's where you have the terrorist groups trained by the West, gave them weapons. But because they broke out. But the blacks can't break out. So now Jimmy Barbecue is barbecuing his own people. But the weapons come from the West. Right? So this is how Haiti became poor. And this is how the West and the Black Horse, this is how they operate, keeping a country poor. Keeping a country poor. Because if someone should have paid someone a debt, shouldn't the French have paid Haiti? But now the role is reversed now. Haiti is paying France. Haiti is paying France. And France has not only done this to Haiti, they've also done this to Africa. All the nations that were under French's colony, up until today, they still pay France debt. Did you know that? La Côte d'Ivoire, Senegal, DRC, all of them up until today, no, DRC was Belgium, sorry. All the French nations that were colonies of France, up until today, they still pay France debt. Are you seeing that? And by doing this, they keep the nations poor and they enlarge themselves. And they are like, you know what? Since you can't pay off the debt, privatize your industry, give the foreign nations, give us concessions. So they plunder your natural resources and you are still paying them off a debt. And the debt has interest, meaning you are in a never-ending cycle. We will never be able to pay off our debt. And they know it. This is the work of the